So a little bit about non-aspirates and aspirates. A non-aspirate, if you put a piece of tissue in front of your mouth and you say puh, the tissue won't blow. But if you say puh, the tissue blows. The soft form is like our letter B, and it is B. B. The aspirated form is bha, as in bhakti. Bha. You can probably guess the nasal. Ma, like mama. Ma. Very interesting. So you see that we have the consonants organized according to where they're produced by the mouth, and also whether there's breath applied and whether they're soft or hard or nasal. So we have this beautiful system. Now, the semivowels don't exactly fit into this plan perfectly, but we'll write them here. The first one is ya, just like our letter Y. The next is Ra. Now this is like Rama, Sri Rama Jai Ram, Ra. This is the consonant. Earlier we had or Ri, that's a vowel, but Ra, Ra, Ra. And incidentally, in Sanskrit it isn't just Ra, like in English. There's always a little D sound in there. Ra, Ra, Rama is the semivowel Ra. Ya, Ra. Now, just like our letter L is La, La. And here's a bit of a tricky one. This is Wa, Wa. So it's like V and W together. If you see a Sanskrit word like Svaha, Saraswati, and it's got a V in there, it's pronounced Wa. You'll sometimes see it written as just a W, as in like Wahe Guru. Now, which is technically not Sanskrit, it's Punjabi, but the same sound. It's a W, but it's pronounced Wa. And this one varies regionally. You'll hear it sometimes more as Va and more as Wa. But it's VWA, Wa. Then we come to the sibilants. The first one is Sha, as in Shiva, Sha, or Ganesha. The next one is retroflex, or cerebral, like we had this row up here. This is the tongue curls backwards, and you say Sha. So you have Sha, just like in English, and you have Sha. So we have Ganesha and Krishna. Next, Sa, just like our English S. Sa. And Ha. Ha, just like our H. And the final letter is my favorite to write. Ksha. K-S-H-A, Ksha, as in rickshaw. Ksha. In this portion, I'd like to share with you some of the phrases that we use in the Dances of Universal Peace, some of the sacred mantras, and show you how they're pronounced and why they're pronounced the way they are. It will be helpful if you have seen the previous segment on the alphabet. That will be helpful for you to understand what I'm about to show you, but it's not strictly necessary. So let's just jump right in. The first one that I've written out for you, and let me try to cover up the others. Here we have the mantra given to Murshid Sam from his guru Swami Papa Ramdas. It's the Ram Taraka mantra. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Now those of you who looked at the previous segment about the alphabet will recognize some of these letters. You will recognize Ra, Ram, Ra. This is the word Ram. You'll recognize Ma, Rama. Now here's one of the cases of a Sanskrit word that is pronounced differently according to the region you come from. Technically speaking, this word would always be pronounced Rama, Rama. But in the north of India, they just say Ram, Ram. In the south of India, they say the full original Sanskrit pronunciation, Rama. So that's why you'll hear sometimes it pronounced Rama and sometimes Ram. You know Om. Om is a word, but because it's sacred and because it begins virtually every mantra and prayer, this beautiful symbol has been developed. And again, if you saw the previous video about the alphabet, you will recognize immediately that this is the core part of the both of the vowels and a and u. This is the long u sound with its tail. This is u. And this dot you'll recognize from when it becomes This is called Chandra Bindu. This Chandra is moon. You can see the crescent moon. And Bindu is like Bindi, the dot, the source of all manifestation, if you will. So the Chandra, in this case, indicates that there's a nasal quality to this. And of course, the dot, it concludes the sound So it's Om. Om. So Om Shri Ram. And then we have, you'll recognize also, or not, Ja and Ya. So here's another point of confusion. You'll hear this word Jaya pronounced J, Jaya, Jai, Jaya. Technically speaking, this word is simply two letters, Ja and Ya. So it's really pronounced Jaya. But I'd invite you to get out your tasbih or your mala and go around a few times and say Jaya, 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 Jaya. Pretty soon it sounds like Jai, Jai. Or it may sound like Jaya, 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 Jay, Jay. It's really Jaya, Jaya, Jaya. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. So any of those pronunciations, Om Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, could be heard too. All of those are okay.